All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Unit Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is to talk about UFC and boxing. And more specifically, it's to talk about the 230 card that takes place this Saturday, the 3rd, which is headlined. Dana pulled off a miracle with this one, I tell you. Headlined Cormier versus Lewis. And then also to talk about next week's big fight, Tony Bellew versus Alexandra, because keep telling me I'm saying it wrong. Alexandra Uysk. Anyway, to join me, as always, when it comes to the filthy casual and hardcore show, it's my boy Ola. Say hello to the people, Ola.
Yes, people, what's happening, man? It's fight week again. I'm glad to be back talking combat sport with you again. Well, you like the new hat, yeah?
No, I was just about to comment on it. One thing Ola is very good at when we do these shows, he will have some type of theme depending on what the show is. So if it's a Nigerian show, he'll have a Nigerian shirt on. If it's an Arsenal shirt on, he'll have an Arsenal shirt on. If it's UFC, he'll have a big UFC hat. Now he's got the boxing hat.
Yeah, man. I gotta represent, man. You know what I mean? Gotta set the tone. You know what I mean? Fucking yeah, man. I like to represent the sport and the things that we're gonna do on shows. So I just make just that tiny little bit extra effort just to portray what we're dealing with. So yeah.
Yeah,
thanks for noticing that.
let's open up with 230 because I think the majority of the show will be about that. Wow. It's been an absolutely tortured show. It's almost been a cursed show. And the amount of times the main event has changed, what the initial main event was, and everyone was like, what the fuck? And then it's
crazy, man.
And then it changed, and then what we all thought the main event should be, then both fighters pulled out. I say both fighters, more Portier pulled out. And then Dana scrambled and somehow convinced Derrick Lewis after the beating he took in his last fight, albeit the win he got, but he took a beating before that.
He took an ass kicking, didn't he?
And that was, 25, 26 days ago? And somehow he's convinced him to fight in this fight and rescue us. What do you think about this card, first of all?
I mean, it's a fun card. It's a card you look at and say, all right, it's not a disaster. I mean, the card, as you said earlier on, is a good thing you alluded to earlier on. It's been a car crash. Like the amount of people they've tried to. At one point, John Jones was going to main event this card with Gustafsson. I don't know what the hell happened. Dustin Poirier, Nick Diaz, Sijara Eubanks, Shevchenko. There's been so many people. These are juicy names, you know what I mean?
To the point where I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't even know what the card is anymore. You're gonna have to talk me through it.
The card is a little bit underwhelming. I mean, the main names on the card for me is our boy. You already know about Israel Adesanya, Stylebender. He's fighting Derrick Bronson. Yeah. So that's the fight that I'm really looking at. Sijara Eubanks is on there as well with Modafferi. So Roxanne Modafferi. I mean, Modafferi is one of the baddest legit grapplers in the flyweight division, period. And Modafferi, I mean Sijara Eubanks, I've spoken to you guys about her before. She's a legit black belt jiu-jitsu holder, so she knows her way around the octagon, and she can put anybody away on any given night. So I think that's going to be a fun fight. Obviously we got Chris Weidman, Jacare de Souza. That's a big one.
About that.
That's a big one. And remember, don't
Because it was
forget,
initially Rockhold and
Weidman, exactly. So they've had to scramble up. They've had to scramble up a few people to try and make this card work. And the main events, Daniel Cormier and Derrick Lewis, and we know Daniel Cormier is still battling injury. Yeah, he's got a hand problem from his fight. From his fight with what was his last fight?
Stipe, bro. Stipe. Michiochi. This is your field, bro.
Oh, yeah. No. I was thinking he'd already done one more since then to get the double thingy. So I mean, he's still battling the hand problem from then. So it's been crazy. It's been crazy for UFC.
Excitement. There's a distinct difference in excitement between last month when we were talking about 229.
Yes.
When we're talking about,
I mean, do you feel like he's been under promoted? Does it feel like that?
The focus is on 232 and signing Askren, which
we'll also
talk about.
Oh yeah, we've got to talk about that.
We'll come to Askren.
that's been a big one still, but yeah, we'll get to that in a little while.
Let that marinate for a second.
So looking at the cards that we've got on right now, let me start off with Sijara Eubanks and Roxanne. These two started off their journey. They were in the same camp at the Ultimate Fighter, the flyweight division, when they created the flyweight division for the women's division. That division has not really taken off. I've not really seen any fight really go on in that division. And Montayo, Nico Montayo held that division to ransom because she didn't defend the fucking title. She didn't defend it. She kept ducking fights for whatever reason. She wouldn't make weight, and when she made weight, she pulled out because of injury. I mean, to not defend the title and a fight in a division that got created two years ago, it's kind of ridiculous in my eyes. I think, I think in my eyes, if you don't defend your title within 1 year, you should be stripped of that title and make the fucking title vacant. Not 2 years. I think 2 years is too fucking long. You know what I mean?
Get the shot as soon as you're fit, but until then, if you have an injury that's even up to a year and then more, I say strip you.
That's what I think. I mean, they didn't even wait for Tony Ferguson to be 6 months before they stripped him, and that was the interim title. So
some people thought it was some bullshit. It's
crazy. So in my eyes, I think a year is a fair amount of time. If you don't defend your title in 1 year, while the interim champion or the number one contender is doing the workload for you, I think you should, they should strip you, make the title, make it vacant, and let the interim title holder and the number one contender, let them fight for it, and then we'll go from there. So it's something that obviously UFC and Dana and the people that puts the fight together they have to work on it. The other fight on there, Derrick Brunson and Israel Adesanya, to me, this is probably going to be, in my eyes, going to be fight of the night. I think these two guys, they hate each other. It's more of an ego thing with Derrick Brunson on Israel Adesanya. If you listen to why he was calling out Derrick Brunson, it's like the man basically was blanking him, thinking of him as a nobody, and now I'm here and I'm ready to take your head off. I'm ready to take your place in the rankings. And I feel if Israel is able to put this win together, which is very capable of doing, if he does it, his stock is rising so fast over the last few fights. I mean, the way he put away Brad Tavares in his last fight, I thought that fight was too much for Israel. It was too much too soon for him, but he handled it so well. It was so impressive that it makes you think this guy could fight anybody in this division and put in work and hold his own.
style, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's my
Does
big
it not?
time
Does
for
it not
me.
remind you of Jones? Does it not remind you of Jones a little
I
bit?
don't want to gas him up too much, but yeah,
No, I mean in his style and his demeanor, but he's
style,
got this
style is very John Jones like.
exactly,
Say he has a very his demeanor is very John Jones like as well. So,
exactly. But he doesn't like being compared to Jones.
as John Jones. That's what I'm.
He doesn't like being compared to Jones. I
I know
mean,
he doesn't. He hates it.
he fucking hates it. So he wants to be his own man, which I can, I buy into what he's trying to do. I buy into the character that he's trying to present, and his calm and cool, collected approach to the way he fights is it's so good to watch. And the way his stock is risen, like I said, is frightening. So I'm excited to see this fight. And Derrick Brunson is no mug. He's got knockout power, and it could shut any man's lights off just like that. The guy's a fucking monster. But
Old Derrick would be a bigger threat though. Like old school Derrick would have been a bigger threat.
yeah,
Now at the moment he's a bit of an old man. I think this could be one of his last. I think it could be a whooping for Derrick to the point where Derrick says, "All right."
I'd like that. I'd like to see that. I guarantee you, I would love to see that. But somehow I'm looking at it. I'm I'm gonna say what you said in your Palace preview. This ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy. Israel still has a lot of work to do because sometimes when he fights, you could see holes in his game, and a hole and the older like Bronson, they can see some of them flaws a mile away. And
What type of fighter would you describe as Brunson these days? Yes.
I'll say it's a good wrestler. He's still got very very good wrestling pedigree there. He can stand up as well. He's got very good boxing pedigree. But if he takes the fight to the ground, I mean Israel he's got exceptional takedown defense. His takedown defense is ridiculous.
Mm.
So to take him down is going to be a big ask. It's going to be a big ask. But will he wear out the power in Bronson's arm by the time he wants to start throwing hands?
Well,
Will he
that's
wear
why
him out?
it's just going to be a 3 round whooping for Brunson in the sense that I think Israel will keep it to the feet, keep it long, and just hit, move, hit, move, hit, move. Every time Brunson tries to close the distance, try and counter with something.
It'd be nice to watch. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see. I'm very very intrigued to see what happens there. It's one of those. It's one of those that what the outcome is going to be, but you can't count the opponent out because Derrick Brunson is still Derrick fucking Brunson. You know what I mean? And on any given day, it reminds me of Ovin's Semperu. Days that you don't expect this motherfucker to go and whoop somebody's ass, he lays them the fuck out. And days that, you said this would be an easy fight for Semperu, he just gets slumped. So it's just one of those.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait and see. So it's a fun fight. It's definitely a fun fight. It's one that I'm looking forward to see. Who else is on the card? Jacare De Souza, Chris Weidman. Now, this is
an easy win for Weidman, surely.
That's what people are saying that,
Right, I thought David Branch was going to beat Jacare Souza before that match got changed.
Yeah. David Branch.
For those who don't know, initially Luke
Weidman.
was
Rockwood, yeah.
Chris Weidman's opponent, and Jacare was supposed to fight David Branch. But because Jacare was already on the card and Dana needed to save the card, the card has been cursed. I don't think there's one match on here that hasn't been changed somehow. Apart from Israel and versus Brunson. That's the only match that stayed the same. Every other match has changed somehow.
And the maddest thing is, the good story about Israel is this guy can't even read or write. He's got dyslexia. He's been battling this since he was a kid, you know, and to rise up and use it as a tool to channel his anger and you know, people that picked on him when he was a kid because he couldn't read and write and stuff. I mean, in the environment that he grew up in as well, it's crazy. And you know, you just gotta raise your hat, tip your hat to him, and the same goes for our guy Kamaru Usman as well. You know, the environment and the things they've had to go through to get to where they are now. It's proper salute to those guys.
Are in the same place, aren't they? They're both, one is from New Zealand. In fact, I think they're both from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Obviously, via Nigeria.
Yeah. There's a lot of our people out there, man, in New Zealand, man. So it's shout out to those guys. I mean, at one point there was even Romero versus Costa on this card.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
But then Romero kept saying he was injured, so I was like, okay, maybe
he wanted a way where he could fight Cormier. He wanted Cormier at light heavy, and anybody that weren't really holding the gold, he didn't really want to do it.
Plus, you don't want Costa. Romero don't want that work.
Nah, man. It costs us too much for. It's too much, man. It's too much. It really is too much. So, you know, I think if you look at Weidman and Jacare Souza, like you said, even Branch might have been too much for Jacare Souza, but who knows? You know, Weidman's been out of the game for a while, so Souza's been active, even though he's been on losing streak. He's been active. Weidman has been out of the game for 2 years almost. You know, so I think
that's the only thing that makes this fight a little bit closer for me.
Exactly.
How sharp is Chris?
How sharp he's a better fighter. Is definitely the better fighter. But how long he's been out? How much could that actually affect?
It's very similar to the Fury Wilder situation. In my opinion, Fury at his very best will school Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
At his very best. But the problem is Fury, all right, minus the 2 bums he's recently beat. He has been out the ring for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And what we saw with David Haye is David Haye also beat 2 bums. And then as soon as he came and fought Bellew, there was a problem. And that's without trying to give any spoilers, this is starting to be what I think may happen against him and Wilder in December. But we'll do a show for that one.
We'll do a show for that one. I have certain things that I think, certain variables that I think might take place in that fight that might just throw this fight left, right, shake it all about. So, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to
right. It just depends how sharp Chris Weidman is. But, bruh, let's not dance around it anymore, man. Derrick Lewis.
Derrick Lewis, DC. Man.
Oh, man. First, let me make it clear. I love both guys. But I have a different type of love when it comes to Derrick Lewis. I got a different type of love, man. I love the guy inside out. Every time he does an interview, I must watch it.
It's funny, man. It's such a funny guy. I mean, he should be up there with the Brendans and the Joe Rogans doing fucking stand-up comedy, man. He's hilarious.
He needs a comedy. He needs a stand-up set up. At the very least, someone needs to give this motherfucker a podcast. Somebody.
Trust me.
Anybody who produces should just do a podcast with him.
He's funny, man. He's so hilarious.
You stop listening to that show.
I mean, some of the stuff that he says, and it's not stuff that's prepared. It's off the cuff.
Yeah.
So when he drops it, you're thinking, Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? and You know, talking about one-liners. This guy is ridiculous at it. I mean, DC was asking him, like, come on now, why would you even want to punch me? You know, what I mean, I love you that much, man. It's like, shit, I'll punch anybody for fucking money. You know, I'll punch anyone for money, man. So don't get it twisted. If I'm getting paid out here, you know what I mean? You are getting punched the fuck out. And he's such a lovable guy as well, you know,
Yeah.
in and outside the cage. Everybody speaks so highly of him.
Yeah.
Out there on on the social media networks. Everybody loves him. And this boy's done time. He's done time in jail.
Yeah.
While Cormier was out there doing his Olympic wrestling and proper putting in work on it, Derrick Lewis was in jail. You know what I mean? Doing time. And to come out of that, change his life, he is the ultimate person that's living the American dream out there, done his time, comes back, pursues, this sport, and it's made a living out of it. And anybody that's, trying to put down or downplay him deserving this title shot, it's ridiculous. Because in my eyes, this guy's earned the shot even more than some of the people that's had title shot before he did. He's on a 9 out of 10 win streak. Do you know how hard it is to do that in a heavyweight division where people can just they could just knock you out in the instant, do exactly what he did to Volkov. That's so easily done in the heavyweight division, and to go on a 9 win streak, it's ridiculous. And that's with back problems. For me, this is my theory on Derrick Lewis.
Oh.
Is the best possum player in the fucking heavyweight. People get it twisted.
Because if you watch that fight, if you watch his last fight, right? I hate to say it because I like him and it's going to sound like an insult. No. But I that Simpson episode where Homer tries to be a boxer, right?
Yeah.
The whole episode is of him just getting his ass whooped. And the boxer just gets more and more and more tired until they have nothing left. And then Homer's just like, one punch, guy's out.
I mean, he almost allows people to just lay barra. And I don't know if that's the true way to look at it, because no fighter, especially in MMA, wants to get beaten up to the point where is gasping for breath, and then unleashes one on the opponent to knock him out. I don't think any MMA fighter wants to do that. I think they just want to get in there, get the job done, get their fight bonus, get their finish bonus, get the fuck out of there, and probably, once that other fight, because they love when they don't take no damage, and they're ready for the next camp, ready for the next fight, maybe in 3-4 months, and that way they can put together 3 fights in 1 year. Those are the guys that don't take damage, and a lot of them are able to do that. I've seen Dillashaw do that before, take 3 fights in 1 year. You know what I mean? If you don't take no damage, no injury, bam, get back into the camp, get the next fight going, and bang bang. He done it with twice with Barao in 1 year, and then came and faced Dominic Cruz and lost. Right, that was all in the space of 1 year when he done that 3 fights in 1 year. So he didn't really take no damage, and his conditioning is so good. So no fighter really wants to go and get beat up to.
That's how you career, bro.
If you look at his fight versus Volkov, he was holding onto his eye for some reason, and I was thinking to myself, he's playing possum.
It was hard fight to watch.
He was doing all sorts.
I'm a Lewis guy, and it was hard to watch because I was like,
oh my God, he was getting his ass handed to him, man.
I kept sitting there thinking to myself, you know what? Lewis hasn't hit him clean yet. When Lewis hits clean, let's see what happens. I swear down, maybe a minute after I said that in my head, well, I say in my head, and I thought, my man just hit this right. I was like, no flipping way. You go back
I was screwing. Because
what the heck?
as much as I wanted Lewis to win, that fight fucked up my accumulation. Cause I was begging Volkov like, fucking hell. You've done everything you're supposed to do. My money was in. And it's one of those that you can't cash out. You know what I mean? Because it's MMA. So my money was in. All he had to do was stay away from Brunson. And obviously I had Khabib to win as well. So I had about £160 to cash that night. And Volkov, that last minute of that last round screwed it all up for me, man. Everybody else that I picked 5 fighters and they all came in, apart from bloody Volkov. I was screwing. That pissed me off. But look, I was happy that Derrick Lewis won. Even more so, the way that I finished the fight was incredible. The post-match interview it's right up there with some of the best ones I've seen. It's just madness. Like, did you see Bruce Buffer's face when he took his thing? He didn't know where to look.
What the fuck? Okay.
You know, Bruce Buffer didn't know where to fucking look, man. It was just crazy. But look, let's not sugarcoat this, yeah?
All right, let me ask.
Who do you think is going to win?
Obviously DC, but
right.
Let's be real here, right? Let's strip it back.
Right.
Yes, DC is the most overwhelming favorite for this fight. What is the secret for Lewis to win this fight? How does if you're Lewis strategist, let's say for this fight, how do you get through this fight to win this title?
Knock him out in the first round.
It's the only chance, isn't
it? I don't see any other way. You can't go 5 rounds. This is a championship. This is a championship fight. So it's 5 rounds. It's not even the three rounds that Lewis is been dealing with for the last God knows how long. This is 5 rounds. He has to prepare for.
Yeah, he might as well just gas out and throw everything into that first round because
that's it. And that's why I think
you can't do that possum shit against Cormier. You can't.
No, Cormier too wise. It's too wise. It's too streetwise for that. It's way too streetwise for that. You can't do that possum shit with Cormier. Cormier will just pick him apart. And bad hand or no bad hand, on Cormier's worst day, I still think it's better than Lewis. Yeah. Cormier is that fucking good. Yeah. On Cormier's worst day, I still think it's better than Lewis.
There's only one guy better than Cormier. Let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade.
Exactly. Only Jones is better than Cormier. Only Jones. And even that's debatable.
There's still an asterisk there. Yes.
Because of Jones's PED history. Yeah. So even that can be debated. But, you know, fight for fight, man for man in front of each other, I still think Jones is the better fighter. He's the better skilled fighter. He's the kryptonite for DC. But Lewis, he's just got that one punch power. And we say Lewis has that one punch power, but Cormier also has that one punch power. And that's what's going to be fucking interesting. You know, the one thing that I think is so clever with Cormier is people that have one punch power, he don't stand in front of them because he knows you got the power to knock man out. I ain't standing in front of you. Yeah. What we're doing is we're going on the ground, and I'm just going to lean on your clock. I'm leaning on you.
Let me counter what you just said, though.
Yeah,
I agree with you, but he's used to a lot more polished guys who have one punch power. Derrick Lewis is that awkward kind of guy where as you're taking him down, this motherfucker will catch you on the way down.
Yes.
He's one of these people that will punch from awkward angles and that to me makes the fight a little bit intriguing.
I think
and also Derrick Lewis is physically very strong. So can Cormier just tie him up in knots? I don't know.
I think Cormier lifts him up and smashes him like he does everybody else.
Okay.
I think Cormier is so on. I think Cormier lifts him off the ground and smashes him on the ground. That's how much I rate Cormier's work. Look, the way he's dealt with people like Anthony Rumble Johnson, these
True.
people ain't no joke.
True.
And he just malhandles people. The way he malhandles people.
Even Volkan, to me, when Volkan was
Ozdemir, you see the way he ragdoll. This guy,
man.
this guy is
I
like
was
6'7".
shocked.
This guy is like 6'7". He just ragdolls him, just lifts him up and just rags him around the fucking octagon and ends him in 2 rounds. It's not a joke. Daniel Cormier, people always say, you don't understand how heavy he is till he leans on you when you're on the ground and you can't get up. They describe him as a wet blanket. You can't shake him off. It's so hard to get rid of him. And he's the kind of guy that, yeah. So you say, throw your best in the first round, gas yourself out, but gassing yourself out in the first round and leaving yourself with an animal like Cormier with 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th to go, it would just impose his will. That's bordering on molesting somebody in my eyes. Like,
yeah. Here's the thing.
He's gonna get molested in the fucking octagon, man.
To me, I would rather Lewis goes for it in the first round, gasses himself out, and then gets battered for the rest of the. I want him at some point to actually have a go. I don't just turn up and sign a register and get beaten, and that's that.
I think he's going to have a go. I think if you look at the Francis Ngannou fight, as bad as that fight was, as horrible as that fight was, he was still the one that's trying to make
something happen.
Make something happen in that fight. He was still the one that was pushing forward. He wasn't scared of the knockout. He wasn't scared of nothing. He was still pushing forward and pressing the guy. It wasn't Ngannou that was actually running away from him. So I think Lewis would push forward. I just don't know how much he's got in the gas tank for somebody like Cormier.
DC though. I do. I do think he can knock out.
Oh, he's got the power to do it, and DC knows it. DC knows it. He's told DC, "I'm looking to knock you out." This is the thing. DC knows.
I think he's just a little bit too much of a one-trick pony to beat DC. I think to beat DC, you need a few tools, which is what John Jones has.
And this is what we said about Woodley and Till.
Yeah.
Woodley just had way too many tools in his toolbox for someone like Darren Till. Even though Darren Till is more of a monster, is a bigger guy. He's got that Muay Thai, that awkward style. He's got everything that everybody was worrying about. Like when Woodley goes to take him down, he could get that Muay Thai kick. None of that happened because these guys know the thing. You know, the best attribute about people like Cormier, Khabib, Woodley is timing. Timing is everything for these guys. Yeah. Their timing is impeccable. You don't go around getting Olympic fucking medals if your timing is fucking rubbish. People like Demetrius Johnson, their timing is so ridiculous. Cejudo, these guys, they've got incredible timing when they go to take a man down. They don't just go in for it. They know what they do. They set it up with a few punches. So obviously, that's what Cormier is going to do. He's going to set it up. He's going to throw hands. And people like Derrick Lewis already know Cormier can knock a man out too. He knocked out Stipe. You know what I mean? He's capable of knocking a man out. Dirty boxing. He's got that in his pedigree. So he's going to throw a few hands. And while you're worrying about defending the takedown, you're also worrying about living your head exposed and that, hanging out your chin and that. So if them man they catch you, it's lights out. So you go.
I think Lewis has more of a chin than DC though. Just keeping it real. I do.
Yeah, there's the amount of beating that he's taking a lot in his fights suggests that his chin is not as glass as, like I said, he plays possum. He plays like, he plays like he's getting hurt. Then he comes round the back and just whips your ass. And he's done it. Look, I keep saying it. I go back to it. Winning 9 fights on the spin. Yeah. It's no mean feat. It's like underplaying. It's like underplaying us. It's like underplaying Arsenal's fucking winning streak in the Premier League. There's no free games. There's no free points. There's nobody's trying to hand you any win in the octagon.
And he is number 2. You know what? I mean, to be fair, to be honest, we should all put more respect on his name because
absolutely,
the only person he's behind is only the best heavyweight there's ever been, and that's Stipe.
Yeah.
Outside of that, he's next.
He's beat everybody else. He's beat everybody they put in front of him.
So he must be halfway decent. We're not just talking about a punching bag here. We're talking about someone who is the number 2 heavyweight in the world. So let's see what happens. For me, I go with DC to submit him, probably rounds 2, 3, something like that. And that's just me.
I'm with you on that one still. I think round 3. I think third round.
I think
submission, rear naked choke or some shit like that.
I hope, and I like DC a lot. I hope I'm wrong.
Here's
the fuck out of him and becomes champ.
Here's the trick question for you. So what happens if DC loses this fight?
His ball goes upside down. I mean, it's the worst thing that could happen.
It's the worst part
for him. But for me, it would be the best thing. I would love Lewis to win.
That fucks up the Brock Lesnar fight that he's got.
Lesnar fight. It fucks up the Jones fight.
The Jones fight because he'll have to defend that time. He'll have to go back to light heavy to defend that.
If he wins, he fights them both for me.
So, what happens? I don't know. I'm trying to think if Lewis, because Lewis could throw a lot of it could throw a giant spanner in the works of Dana White is shitting himself over this fight because there's a lot of money fights planned, but everybody, they all expecting DC to just go out there, get the job done, come out unscathed, and then we can plan January, February, whatever. But if Derrick Lewis goes round and beats DC, I think there's a lot of conundrums. A lot of conundrums is going to happen.
I'll tell you something now. I'll be honest with you now. I think if Lewis was to win, he'd fight Stipe next.
I would like that.
I think he'd lose to Stipe, but he'd fight Stipe next.
So what happens with DC? Where does DC go? Do we get DC Jones free?
I think DC starts begging Jones because they're going to.
Wow.
So I think he's going to start begging Jones for that third fight.
And the winner of Jones and DC gets Brock.
Gets Brock. Remember when that Brock conversation first came out?
Oh my God! I'm gonna boulder fucking talking about this shit.
But there was no talk of a title. There was no talk of a heavyweight title. So to be honest with you, yes. Marketability, yes, you want the title to be involved, but it doesn't need the title. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
All they need is, you dangle the carrot of the money fight of Brock. You have another money fight, because I believe it's a money fight at this point. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the biggest payday. It's the biggest payday. It's anybody fighting Brock, they're getting 5 times the amount of the normal standard fight that they normally get. That's ridiculous. It's like this Khabib McGregor. I mean, Khabib made 48 million off that fight. 48. He's never made that in his 26-0 that he's been fighting. He's never made that put together, let alone the one fight.
Yeah.
It's madness.
It's crazy, but to me, I think it will be round 2 or 3. But if he submits, I think he goes on to fight Stipe, because Stipe, to me, deserves the next shot.
I think deserves the title shot.
If you ask Stipe who he wants to win, he wants Lewis to win.
It would.
Want Lewis to win.
Yeah.
I think if Cormier wins, he can kiss goodbye for having a rematch. It's not happening. Ain't happening. That title will be tied up for a bit. So, because Dana has no love lost for Stipe for whatever reason. So, to me, I think he's hoping Moose wins, but we'll see.
A lot of it is down to the media work that Stipe doesn't really like doing media work.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He'd rather go and do his normal day job, do his fireman work, which is it's a good thing to do, than put all that energy into doing media work and that. So obviously, his nonchalant attitude as well. Dana doesn't like that. The man just likes to show up, brawl, win, and keeps it moving. And you know that's what I like about Stipe, and he's very down to earth.
He does what he needs to do and then goes home, which you have to admire. To be honest, yes, he's not a showman, but he never claimed to be a showman. He claims to just go about, do his work, and then go.
That's right.
A lot of admire about that. But yeah.
So let's talk about Ben, man. Let's talk about Ben
and DJ. I know when this rumor came up last week, you weren't all the way happy for losing DJ.
No, I wasn't.
But I must admit, when you were talking, I thought to myself, I bet DJ wants to leave though. Because if you notice, even when he was on top, they never really gave him that fanfare. Not really.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean,
the hardcore experts like your Rogans and your Shogs and your people like that, they're the ones that kind of recognize that DJ was one of the best ever.
Yeah.
But Dana never really.
He's never really put him up there as what I mean, as one of the TBEs, and I think he deserves it. I think for what he's done for the sport, for that division, he cleaned out that division. Nobody really wanted him, and he said quite a few times, "I will fight up, or anybody that wants to fight down from the division up from me, I'm happy to take him." There were no takers.
Yeah.
There were really no takers, and then just around the corner, when there was a taker. When the guy says, "Listen, I will come down to you, or you come up to me," and I'm talking about TJ Dillashaw here. He said, "Listen, man will come down to you, or you come up, whichever way, wherever you want to meet, let's do it. I'm happy to do this." The Cejudo thing comes around, and then wham bam, this happens. And I'm thinking, as much as I was happy for Cejudo, I was cursing because I really wanted to see DJ and TJ really get at it and see who would, who's really the baddest out of the two of them. And I would have been split on that fight, believe you me, because especially depending on where they had to meet, I would have been proper split on it. But DJ is gone now. He's gone Bellator. I think Bellator has gained themselves a very, very good fighter, and I think he's going to go down there and dominate it. He's going to dominate it.
He gone to one championship?
No, he's Bellator.
Is it Bellator?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Bellator. They're
doing.
That
wasn't the deal.
I'll double check it. If anybody knows in the comments, please let us know. But let me double check this thing, man. I'm pretty sure the deal was done with Bellator. But whoever it is that they've traded with, because Benny's been trying to.
Yeah, he signed to one championship. Wikipedia says it.
Is it one championship?
Yeah.
All right, that's my bad. Okay, because it was with Bellator. I think it's got to be about a year and a half back. When I heard him saying he's been trying to get Dana to sign him over to UFC, and they never got it. Dana doesn't like him for whatever reason. Dana doesn't like his attitude. He just think he's too forward. He just doesn't like the lad. So he's never really shown interest. But the guy has always been a proper fighter. The guy can handle himself. The people that he trains with.
It's a shame the talent that UFC is losing in order to gain a wonderful talent in Ashford. But it's a shame.
It is. It is. You know, I think they're losing talent now.
Maybe in Asia, I think they'll appreciate it more because let's call a spade a spade. They are naturally smaller people, and therefore they're more likely to appreciate the smaller guys as well as the bigger guys.
Yeah. And what do you think? What do you think should be his welcoming fight? Who do you think in who would you, if you was putting the match together and you don't want to put somebody there that is just gonna overwhelm? Yeah, Askren. Who do you think in that
I was
division?
thinking about this because I knew this would be the question. Oh man. So Dana said he's going to fight a top 5 welterweight. He's already said it. I'll be honest with you. I would love the Till fight, but for me trying to build a business, I don't want this new guy to start Till and ruin Till. Till's still a young guy, and to me, I don't think that's the fight to make. So if I was in charge, honestly, I'd make the fight Askren versus Dos Anjos. Roll with that shit.
Yeah, that's a definitely good one. I was thinking
number 5 in the list. Good test. Good.
It'd definitely be a good test for him.
Very experienced, and he comes in and he beats, let's be honest, an older guy. He's not ruining anybody, and then he's off to the races. I would love to see the Till fight eventually, but to me, you don't give Till just come off a hard loss. You don't give him Askren after that hard loss. You just say to yourself, all right, cool, I'm going to save Till for later down the line. Maybe build that shit up a little bit, and then I'm going to move Askren into Dos Anjos, who, let's be honest, is a guy on the way down. It won't matter too much, but it will still be an intriguing fight. And then you go forward from that.
If I was to pick a fight for Askren as his comeback fight, 2 trash talkers, 2 guys that can really do it, I'll give him Nate.
You give him Nate?
I'll give him Nate. The promotion is gonna be awesome. I think both of them can really fucking sell this fight so much. And
you see, I was gonna say Nate, but for me,
Nate's not gonna get Conor anytime soon.
You see, here's the thing. I disagree with that. I think you give him Conor because Conor.
What, Ben Askren?
No.
Oh, Nate.
My gosh. I'm talking about Nate because I think I think Conor's gonna need a fight like that to rebuild himself. Everyone wants to see the trilogy anyway. So next year, maybe January, February, whatever the card is for that, maybe 2, 3.
It makes sense, but Conor ain't talking about Nate though. Conor keeps talking about Anderson Silva.
The Silva fight is ridiculous, bro.
It's a ridiculous ask. I don't understand that. I really don't see it. I don't understand.
To be honest, he's got more of a chance against Askren. Let's be honest here. He's got more of a chance against Askren.
I mean, why are you asking for Silva for? Silva would take any fight right now, man. He needs the fucking money. It's that's a big fat payday for Silva. He doesn't care what, you know what I mean? He doesn't care about the result of that. He will take that.
Funnily enough, and a fight I'm quite interested to see. I saw a fight today. A certain Darren Till called out Conor McGregor today.
Right.
Well, that would be an intriguing, stylistically very intriguing fight. Even though Till's a big.
Where do you do that fight though? Do you do that?
Well, they're talking about 5. They're talking about doing it at Anfield, and the reason being is because Till's a Liverpool fan. Conor is a Liverpool fan, which I didn't even know that. Mm-hmm. But apparently he's a Liverpool fan. So you build that fight in Anfield, a stadium fight. That would be a lot of money.
The problem is this though. Till's already said how difficult it's been for him to even cut weight to 170.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
how you
you do
gonna
that
come in?
fight
How you gonna come down to 165 or
no. You do that fight at
155?
170. You do it at once. My man's Connor's calling out 185s. Clearly, that's Connor's way of saying fuck this division.
Connor's called out Brock Lesnar before. Connor calls out. Connor's an idiot.
But
Connor's
to
called
me,
out
that's
Brock
Connor's way
Lesnar,
of
man.
saying unless it's to be fuck this division. I still think Connor's next fight will probably be Till. Not Till.
Nate. Oh, you think it'll be Woodley?
100%.
Oh, okay.
100%. Or,
That's a
or they'll do Woodley versus this idiot Colby, right? Then once Woodley beats Colby, which I think will happen, they'll then do Connor Woodley. Because
I think
for time.
I think GSP gets one of those two.
I think GSP Khabib happens, bro.
Because GSP's already come out and said, listen, I don't really want to fight on the roster no more. I want money fights. I want novelty fights.
Yeah,
I don't want to defend no titles. I don't want to hold up the divisions.
But did you hear the rumor today that apparently Khabib's team is in talk with GSP?
Yeah. I heard. Khabib's manager already tweeted out about this special message. We're just waiting to confirm it. But what's going on in the MMA world right now? They seem to think it's definitely Khabib GSP in the offing. And the reason behind that is Khabib's dad said to Khabib, "You'd never be one of the greats until you beat GSP."
Okay.
And this is quotes from Khabib's dad saying that to Khabib. Now you'd never be one of the greats until you might be undefeated for as long as you want. Be that, but you don't beat this guy. And he's his coach. That's his coach right there. He's saying you don't beat him. My eyes, you're not one of the greats yet. To be one of the greats or the greatest, you got to beat this guy. You've got to beat him. And I think that's why Khabib is pushing for it. And his manager is trying to make it happen. So if the money makes sense, which I think it will do, because now, all of a sudden, Khabib's stock is rising off the back of Connor's fight. There's going to be a lot of time for GSP to prepare for the fight because of the sanctions and suspensions that Khabib has got. But saying that, I think that's just in Nevada and Las Vegas. I think the fight can happen somewhere else. The fight could happen anywhere else in the US. It could happen in New York, MSG. Why not? It could happen in Canada, Ontario. It could happen in Russia. GSP is happy to. He's so diverse that he's happy to take the fight anywhere. So I think that fight will sell. It'll make a lot of pay-per-views, probably up to 1 million. So we'll if it happens, I'll be happy to see it. But the fight that I really want to see, us fight fans really want to see, is Khabib Ferguson. I think that should be the next fight. But money rules, money talks, and
money talks. That's the thing. Money talks.
Dana, wherever he sees money, that's where it's going. So I think it's gonna, even though Khabib is saying, listen, I want to do the right thing for the sport. I want to do the right thing for the division. I want to do the right thing for mixed martial arts. And that's why I want to fight Ferguson. But just him doesn't make the decision. The management, the people, the whole company, everybody makes that decision. So he's just got to roll with whatever comes along. And that's why, I don't know if we said this before, that's why I think that rule in boxing should apply to mixed martial arts as well. The mandatory fights.
And to be and you're right about that. And to be honest, I think Bobby in the chat room makes an excellent point. If Khabib does end up fighting GSP, why not make a special fight like why not make a special fight like Ferguson versus Portier for the interim belt?
But Ferguson would argue, I don't want to fight for the interim belt no more. Yeah. I've been there, done that. But you took it off me.
course, but he
You
made
know,
a fight for something.
it took everybody now knows
The way
he's
it's
the number one guy.
to
He's
me,
the number one guy to fight
to
if
me,
you really want to see the real fight.
it seems like the only way to get a mandatory position in the UFC is having an interim belt because it looks silly having two champions in the division. So it seems like the only way to force Dana's hand, if you like, is by winning back the belt that, yes, he should have been stripped from in the fucking first place. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You know, I'll just say give him back the belt because the way he dealt with Pettis, the way he dealt with Pettis, I mean, he shredded that boy. He shredded him. Like this guy's got unbelievable striking, overwhelming striking abilities. They say his coaches say his elbows and knees are like razor blades. They cut man up. They just slice man up. They slice man to shreds. And the way people that were sitting cage side on the night, you saw the fight. Blood was fighting all over the shirt. If you saw John Anik, they were showing the man took his jacket off, the blood all over it from Ferguson punching the lights out of fucking Pettis. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's got that capabilities and he's so strong. He's so good at what he does. That's for me, that's the fight that I really want to see. But I wouldn't be mad if Khabib GSB ended up happening and we ended up having to watch that. So I'd be happy. I'd be happy the same way. But you know, for fight fans that really want to see the real fight, I think if you put the vote in front of them and say Khabib GSP or Khabib Ferguson, everybody will tell you Khabib Ferguson. That's the fight they want to see.
All right. Let's touch on these two things before we wrap it up because I'm conscious that we're going over the hour.
All right, my brother.
So Askren's first fight. You asked me that question.
Yeah.
What would your first fight for him be?
I would put him with although I touted Nate Diaz, but I'll put him with Wonderboy. Wonderboy would be my shout.
Wonderboy.
Stephen Wonderboy is in the upper echelon of fighters. He's not really a title contender, but he's fought for the title before. He's a title fighting quality fighter, and I think he'll pose all different kind of questions to Ben Askren. He's an awkward fighter, as we know. He's probably one of the most awkward motherfuckers you could fight. Look how Woodley had to deal with him, and Woodley trains with Ben Askren all the time. It took Woodley. They say Woodley was boring, but he had to do the tactical thing. You know, he had to play his cards properly to fight somebody like Wonderboy. Otherwise, it's going to be light out for him. You don't go around just rushing out like a bull out of China shop at someone like Wonderboy. You get sparsed out.
It would be interesting to see how Askren deals with a different type of test, like a Wonderboy, because people are always thrown by the way Wonderboy fights. And, I don't think necessarily Wonderboy, first of all, has very good takedown defense. I think that's pretty underrated. And also, I don't necessarily think that charging, the way Ben Askren does it, that charging in, taking him down shit, it's going to work the first couple of times against the Wonderboy. So that does make that an interesting fight.
Yeah. If I was to put a fight together for those two, especially a welcome fight for Ben Askren, yeah, it definitely be Wonderboy. But if that doesn't happen, maybe any of the Diaz's brothers, and I'm sure Ben Askren would be happy to say, fuck the Diaz brothers.
But for me, I'm happy either way. My pick would still be DeSantis, but I definitely see why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what 230 brings. I think, much like you, I think we're.
Another guy that could go in the mix that wouldn't be, I wouldn't be upset about it. Would be Justin Gaethje. Just putting that out there. I think Justin Gaethje, it asks very, very serious questions from Ben Askren, maybe even Mark Perry. There's quality guys in that division that he's calling out.
I thought
That
you
would.
call Kevin Lee for a
Oh,
minute.
he don't want it with Kevin Lee. He don't want that smoke with Kevin Lee. I think he's already ruled out Kevin Lee. He's calling out a lot of people, and you haven't seen him mention, even put Kevin Lee's name in his mouth. He don't want it with Kevin Lee. He's already come out and said that anyways, man. So I think the other guys that's replied to him, that is called out, he's calling out everybody, but Woodley and Kevin Lee. Those are the only two names he's leaving out of his mouth. But everybody else,
Kevin Lee is a 155, so
yeah. I mean, look, this guy's called out Khabib. Ben Askren does not care where he starts or who he embarrasses just to announce himself into the UFC. He wants somebody big, but he really wants to announce himself, and he's going at people that's got big names, and he wants to do it in a big way. And I think some of the guys that you've said, RDA is a big name. I think Wonder Boy is a big name for him to to do it. Like we said, maybe even Till, Mike Perry, Justin Gaethje. Was one of these guys. I think one of these guys would definitely give him a very good welcoming fight. What the result will end up being, I don't know yet. But yeah, it's yet to be seen.
okay. Well, let's see. I think we're all looking forward to 232, 231.
Yeah, well, I want to get past 230 first, because if Derrick Lewis goes and does something and puts fucking DC's lights out, we are in trouble. The whole division is up in the air, man. So that the post match interview, man, I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to that too. So that's gonna be nice to see.
All right. Well, let's quickly talk about the Usyk versus Bellew fight.
Oh yes.
This is on next weekend. Much like the DC Lewis fight, all logic points to the fact that Usyk should just school him. Just to give you an idea of his record. So it surprised me when I was talking about this to someone. Like, his record actually isn't as much as you would think it would be for a 31-year-old. So he has only had 15 fights, which 11 of them is won by KO, which makes him sound like a knockout artist, but he isn't really. He's a southpaw boxer, 6'3", very awkward, has a hell of a chin. Excellent technical fighter. The way he boxes and moves, he's technically very, very good. Doesn't really fight like someone from the Ukraine, really. He fights like Floyd Mayweather. That's what he really does.
Right.
He's very, very, very good. So he has a lot of ambitions to go to heavyweight and fight an AJ fight. In fact, so much so, they're talking about potentially, if Wilder doesn't beat Fury and doesn't face AJ in April, that they may just say to AJ, listen, why not just go and face Usyk, undisputed champion versus unified champion, and face him at Wembley, which would be a hell of a fight. I would worry for AJ in that fight, purely on the basis that I think Usyk has the movement to beat AJ. Whether he has the chin or not is another question. But to me, I think this poses an interesting question, because we were talking about DC and Lewis, and Lewis is a bit of a one-trick pony. I don't think that Bellew is necessarily a one-trick pony in terms of, I think his fight, his ring, his mind, he's got a very good fight IQ. I think the way he kind of moves his opponents into position and sets them up for his left hook, which is his money shot, is very, very good. He's got excellent very underrated footwork, Tony Bellew. To me, though, he's just up against a different caliber of fighter, you said.
Right.
What I guess would say to you is, if you were Bellew, right, and you know Tony Bellew and his fight style, how would you go about advising him for this fight? to beat a Usyk? Because this is different.
I mean, it's gonna be difficult for Bellew to walk down someone like Usyk. So he's gonna have to fight from the outside. Um, Obviously has to try and pick it off on points. One thing you can't deny Bellew, as we've seen, is his heart. And heart goes a long way in the sport of boxing. You know,
it really does.
It's helped him a lot in his last few fights, and he's now got this persona of somebody that you can't count out of a fight. Even though, you know, we're talking about Alexander Usyk and how big he is and his record and, you know, the way he's able to knock people out, which, you know, is probably capable of putting Bellew away. But everybody would say that Hayes did have the power, maybe not the stamina, but had the power. The power was there to put Bellew away. But he wasn't able to make it happen. So, you know, I'd say I would say, you know, go on point, fight from the outside, and try to tire out Usyk, and then, you know, in them 6-7 rounds where he's been so successful, you know, in his
put it on him. Yeah, I agree.
And they just put it on him from there. So, you know, it's gonna be a fun fight to watch.
I think for Bellew, the key to me is going to be body shots. So I know I don't think he's that used to throwing them, but I think the way you slow and move it down is by hitting body shots. Make him moving.
He'll have to be smart to get on the inside. He'll have to be really smart to get on the inside.
Start laying down body shots because he's very similar. I actually think he's slightly taller than Bellew. I think Bellew is 6'2" and he's 6'3". So I start getting him on the inside, rough him up, and then hitting body shots. And then because if you start hitting the headshots and then missing, that's some real demoralizing shit. But whereas if you start wrestling them to the ropes and then hitting them with body shots and slowing them down,
it's all about investing in the body, because eventually, you know, it's all about investing in the body. Just put your investment early on into the body, and, you know, you reap the rewards later on in the rounds.
100%, and I think that's his best chance.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it's going to be unanimous decision. You said. I think this is going to be light work. I do. I think Bellew has done amazingly well for his career. Let's not shit on him. We're talking about someone who's a former WBC cruiserweight
champion. Yeah, man. He's incredible, isn't it?
Someone who's beaten twice a 2-weight world champion. I think those two things are the highlights of his career. Absolutely. Well done. Take the payday, go off into the sunset. But I think Usyk is a different caliber of fighter.
I agree. And because of that, he's put his name on the map as well. He's definitely put his name on the map.
We're talking about someone who is considered, alongside Yamachenko, alongside Canelo and people like that, one of the pound-for-pound best, where there's a different caliber of fighter. So to me, I think this is going to be a light work, to be honest, a unanimous decision. And Bellew retires and then continues doing what he's doing, which is the Sky punditry.
Yeah. Let's just make that extra change, man. Why not?
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah. All right, brother. That's
all right, my guy.
Anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just super excited. There's so much going on this weekend. Is incredible. Arsenal, Liverpool, this fight week. So there's so much to digest for the weekend, and I'm just looking forward to the weekend of sports, really, and hopefully will be, especially if there's a monumental madness. If you're up, maybe we might be able to do one of the mad videos we did on the night of.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm not doing it.
I mean, if you're up, I gotta go work the next morning anyway, so it don't really matter to me.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so we'll do a
man.
reactionary video to 232. I'm up for that. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm up for that. Especially
no problem at all.
But yeah. All right, people. Well, in that case, we'll be back on early hours of Sunday. When I say early, I mean fucking early. We're talking like
5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Because that's when these fights are on. But yeah, do check it out. Anyone our last reactionary video with the Conor Khabib thing. Let me speak to you on that. Last thing.
Yeah.
The Conor thing. I know when we initially saw it, we were shocked. But when I look back at it and I think about all the things that happened with Khabib, I don't blame him for reacting like that, bro. I don't blame him. I don't blame him, bro.
I mean, Khabib.
It's a drop kick, mule kick a motherfucker. And I'm fair play to him. Fair play to him.
You know, the way they gave Conor his money straight away that night as well kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because they didn't review the video.
Yeah.
And if they'd reviewed the video, they would have seen that Conor actually threw the first punch.
Yeah.
But with that,
they made their decision real quick, and it was.
Having said all of that, we all said Khabib lost in the press conference. He lost in the presser. Yeah. English is not his first language. He lost in the presser. Conor used the presser for one thing and one thing only. He went to really bad mouth Khabib. Yeah, he did that. But that's to gain attention to Proper 12. He came to sell his drink. He came to advertise his drink. That's what Conor came to do.
Which I hear drink ain't that nice, by the
way. That's what everybody said. I'm hearing that as well. I mean, the way Dana was drinking it that night, I'm thinking, you don't like that drink. You just drinking it because you got to drink it.
I've heard it ain't that good.
I mean, so he just came to, sell his drink on the day, and he used the medium to sell it. He knew a lot of people were going to be watching, and he used it to sell it. And on top of that, look, Conor tried to get into his head the same way he gets into other people's heads by going after their family, going after their past, digging up dirt. It's almost like a politician that's trying to get into the House or Senate or trying to be president, and you got to dig out dirt on your opponent. And that's what Conor did. He did all of that successfully. What he didn't anticipate was going to happen was, is this really going to affect Khabib? And throughout the press conference, if you go and watch back on the podcast that we said, I said, none of this is bothering Khabib. He don't even understand half of what Conor's trying to say. You know what I mean? None of this is bothering him. He's just waiting to have his own press conference in the octagon.
Yeah.
When we get in the octagon and the doors are shut, we're going to have this press conference again, ain't we? Yeah. You're going to have the chance. I'm going to give you the chance to tell me what you was trying to say. And he did in the second round.
All sorts of things came out in that fight. Like, we found out that Conor said that, it was only business.
He tried to apologize in that because he got battered.
Like, listen, it's only business. You don't worry, it's only business. It is.
It's too late for that, mate.
I know. I know me. I'd react the same way Khabib did. Like, fuck that. Only business.
Bro, watching the whole fight.
You've been talking about my whole family. You've been talking about my religion. You've been talking about my honor, my pride. What, my dickhead? You're talking about only business.
Yo, watching the whole fight, did you see Conor cheated in every single round? Every aspect of the fight. He nipped the man in the eye when he was down. He grabbed the cage. He was hooking the gloves. He was grabbing his shorts. I mean, Conor was pulling everything. And even with all of that was not enough. Khabib is just an overwhelming kind of character. And you can't deal with his pressure. His pressure is ridiculous. And Conor found that firsthand that Khabib is not. There's people that take things personally, but Khabib took it personally in a way where he didn't let it get to him till it really mattered. And when it really mattered, he dealt with it. And the bit afterwards, again, you can't blame Khabib because nobody saw the videos when what's his name? Dillon, right, was all mouthing up at Khabib cage side. Dillon Danis, all mouthing up at Khabib cage side, calling him a Muslim terrorist and this and that. You know, they were just giving it the biggin. And everybody expect Khabib to just say, listen, you know what? I just want to take my belt and just walk out of there and be all nice about it. No, fuck that. You smashed the boss. You've insulted my religion, insulted my people, insulted my father, insulted my teammate. You've insulted everything that I represent.
Plus, these Dagestanis don't play, bruv.
You know what I mean? These guys, they kill for less.
Yeah,
they kill man for less.
Hey, bro.
So
at some point, you must have thought to yourself, maybe I'm going a bit far. Maybe I should calm down a little bit. But like you say, all he was interested in was selling that damn whiskey. I hope that was
interesting. Oh, well, he reckoned he made a lot of money from his first
I heard he made similar figures to the McGregor to the Mayweather fight.
Yeah, he made serious money from it. So you know, it's incredible.
In that fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And do you know the thing that intrigued me the most? Khabib was more scared of his dad after the fight than he was of UFC, Nevada Commission, and all of that bullshit. He was more worried about his fucking dad. Like, my dad's gonna smash me. and is that true to his word? Punished him.
Yeah.
He didn't let him sleep, dragged him up to the mountains, made him run in the fucking cold snow with no sleep. Yo, I was watching a man's fucking Instagram, man, and it's like, his dad was on him. On him. Like, bro, you think you can go and do them things with women and children in the thing? I told you this before. Yeah? The things we do with MMA is pride before dishonor. You know what I mean? And his dad laid down the punishment on him. You know what I mean? So, and I think he probably will be holding some of that 48 million paycheck that he got. But you know the way the victory parade that he got going back to Russia, that's incredible. I mean, everybody was welcoming Khabib, Putin, the lot of them. It's like, you know what I mean, going to the White House and all of that treatment. He got everything. He got everything, man. And I think it was befitting of it. You know, a lot of the Conor fan club, they didn't really like the outcome of what had happened, even though the evidence is right there in front of them, because everybody was pulling out videos. Videos was coming left, right, and center of what really happened that night. And all the Conor fans weren't having it. Khabib should be deported. He should never be allowed to fight again. This, that, he should be hung. They should throw him to the gallows. All types of shit. And I'm like, are you guys really serious?
It's just the guys people that said that he would be stripped. And in my mind, I thought to myself, there's no way after breaking the UFC record and selling 2.4 billion buys. I mean, if you sell 2.4 million buys of anything pay-per-view, well done, right? There's no way that Dana's going to be like, yeah, let's strip him and fire him.
People I know, they're always saying to me, yeah, but Dana said. I said, listen, Dana says a lot of fucking things.
Dana said, 2-3 years ago, he was still dissing Ben Askren. Now look.
Dana says a lot of things.
He says a lot of shit.
And what he says, don't quote him on it, because he will say something right now and then he will go and do the exact opposite. He will say that guy is never going to fight for UFC again, and then the next thing you know, he's fighting in the UFC. And that's that Togayev guy. I don't think UFC even sacks that guy, because Khabib already told them, you better be ready to dash my contract if you touch that guy. He's staying in the UFC.
Have you noticed nothing has happened?
Nothing's happened. Nobody said nothing. Nothing's happened. They ain't firing that guy.
Their plan was to take the fight away, let shit die down
Die
first.
down. Yeah, you see, you probably see him in a couple of fight pass and a couple of prelims, and the next thing you know, he's fighting in the main events again. That guy ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. This is Dana. Dana says things and people want to fucking hold him to what he says. And I say to him, you're naive if that's what you're doing, because Dana is not one of those people that even he says it himself. Like, I don't even know half of what I'm saying myself on them fight nights and that, because I have no benefit or replay. I go back and watch shit, and then I immediately regret what I said. You know, he said this a few times. You know, the things he said about Francis Ngannou fight and Derrick Lewis. He went back and apologized to Lewis because it was downbeating both of them, you know. And then he went back and apologized to Lewis, and after I saw that it was really Lewis that was pushing the fight, you know. So yeah, Dana says a lot of things, man. I don't hold that guy seriously, man. I never take anything he says seriously. So we'll see.
All right, let's wrap shit up.
My guy.
Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Black Scorpion Free without the C, is BLAK Scorpion Free on Twitter. The same thing on my Instagram. You can find me on there as well. It's the same handle. And on YouTube, go and check out Capital Scorpion TV on there. Not really put any content on there. I've been doing content with other shows. I've given up the ghost and that, but I'm working with a lot of people. I'm working with a lot of other shows. You always see me across YouTube. So thank you very much for sticking with us, for those that stuck with us and those that are going to watch later. Thank you all.
Cool, man. And you can find a link to everything he said down below in the description, as always. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Colossal Chig, or on Instagram at Schooner Eagle Eye.
Oh, you got that Instagram team popping now, yeah?
Got it in. And also, let me take the opportunity to do this, because I did this on Twitter, but then it occurred to me that, listen, I've got like 3.2 subscribers, and maybe not all of them are aware that I've done this. Let me just take this opportunity now to extend my thoughts to everybody involved in the Leicester tragedy the weekend. As well as I'm hearing that Glenn Hoddle is getting better and is healing well. So my thoughts are again with his family as well. And also with the Brighton fan.
The Brighton fan that passed away, yeah. Condolences to the family.
Thoughts are with that family as well. Just, it was a horrendous weekend.
Oh yeah, it's and you know, to the Jewish community in Pittsburgh as well.
Oh, of course.
That was real crazy as well. Yes. So you know, it's some of the Jewish people that we know and get on with, like Amanda and Mike. You know that we get on with. You know, this thing is literally just sinking in, and it's hitting them hard right now. And you know, it's thoughts are with the people that's been affected by it. So yeah.
Amen to that, brother. All right, man. We're out of here, people. Take care. And Ola.
Salute.
There you go.